Would you be willing to share a story of like one of your clients that you have helped, something that maybe that sticked in your mind and you were like, wow, this was very powerful?
Let me think, there's so many.
Yeah.
So a very typical one, a guy, his name is Mark. He's originally from the UK, but lives in Thailand. He's a business owner. He was like trying to get rid of his adrenal fatigue. He had a lot of problems with insomnia and anxiety. He could like sleep maybe 2 or 3 hours at night.
Was that the adrenal fatigue? Was that the symptoms of it?
Adrenal fatigue can cause you to have a sleep that is not restful. But if you have that kind of insomnia where you almost can't sleep at all, that's a problem of the brain itself. There's something that's called like all-nighter. There are people that just can't sleep. You know Matt Rife, the comedian? He always says he doesn't sleep at night. He has hardest insomnia. That's like a typical all-nighter, so to say. That's really when you're very deficient in neurotransmitter chemicals in your brain, like GABA, for example. It's because neurotransmitters, they're there to calm and shut down your brain.
Yeah.
If you don't have enough of them, you can't even fall asleep and you can't stay asleep. So that was the problem for him as well. And then the adrenal fatigue and the brain fog. And he also had like weird symptoms of like anxiety and tightness in the chest. It was not easy for him to get rid of most of his symptoms. And it also took a while. Most of the time when I work with people, it takes them a couple months to see improvements. For him, it was like 5 months until we really saw improvements with his sleep. Like his sleep got so much better. And after 5 months, he was telling me, hey, Theo, I can sleep through the night right now. I have way better energy throughout the day. I can go to the gym, and sometimes you just need to stick to it. And
What exactly did you address there?
So with Mark, he had a lot of neurological problems. He had the insomnia, he had anxiety, he had the adrenal fatigue. Like adrenal fatigue can be really bad even if you just go for a walk, if you go for a jog, if you go to the gym, people just crash really easily. You don't feel rested when you wake up. In the morning, you already have a crash at 10 a.m. Then most of the people with adrenal fatigue, they use caffeine to keep them going.
Yeah.
Then they have another crash in the afternoon. They're very tired at work. Some of them are very wired at night, actually, when they have adrenal fatigue and they have more energy because let's say you're at work. Adrenal fatigue doesn't mean that your adrenals are just weak. It means they can't adequately produce hormones for specific situations. So sometimes they overproduce and sometimes they underproduce. The adrenals don't react properly to certain situations.
Which is basically your powerhouse.
Yeah. If you have a successful career, you need strong adrenals to push through it. And when you see people that like go to the gym in the morning, they work 10 hours then straight, and then they take care of their family. These are people that are healthy, have strong adrenals. They're very blessed with that. But if you have adrenal fatigue when you go to work, it's your adrenals. They know, okay, we don't have enough reserves of adrenaline and cortisol there, so they hold something back in case there's an emergency at work.
Yeah.
Because they actually know what's going on. So if there's something that should go on, we can have at least some adrenaline to react adequately to the situation. But then when this is not needed and you have a regular work day and you come home, your adrenals release that adrenaline and then you have out of nowhere that energy and you feel wired and you can't even fall asleep at night, even though you feel tired. Yeah. And that's very typical for adrenal fatigue. And for him, it was like that fatigue, the adrenal fatigue, neurological fatigue as well, which is more like when you have nervous system fatigue, what I described earlier. I haven't had adrenal fatigue. I had more like a nervous system, neurological fatigue. It's when your nervous system is inflamed. It's like a milder version of the chronic fatigue syndrome, the CFS.
Can I ask how you know?
You can differentiate it pretty easily. Most people that have fatigue have both. Like fatigue is one of the main things I work with people. The easiest way to differentiate is if you have adrenal fatigue, it's always going up and down. Yeah. And if you have neurological fatigue, you're always completely wrecked and tired and wasted. It doesn't matter how much you sleep, you're always tired. It doesn't matter if you get some sun or anything, you're always tired. That's like when you have like the neurological fatigue. And then most people have a combination of both. So
if you have that and you would take caffeine, would that give you then still energy?
Some people, when your adrenals are at your lowest point, you can't handle that. Yeah. But when your adrenals are weak, but not like extremely weak, then it helps you to keep functioning because it just forces your adrenals to release that adrenaline. And that adrenaline and cortisol is helping you to stay alert and to keep functioning. So it helps in the moment with that fake energy from the adrenaline, but it burns out your adrenals even more long term. So you can do that for a limited amount of time, but at some point you're going to crash so hard. And with him, one of the most important things were that we were focusing on the adrenals, and we were focusing on his brain as well, that he can restore his neurotransmitter chemicals and that he can actually sleep. So I put him on a lot of coconut water. It's one of the best things you can do to restore neurotransmitter chemicals. Also so important for brain fog as well, because brain fog is also a problem with the neurotransmitter chemicals. And also I put him next to the diet, I put him on like specific supplements that are great for the adrenals, like ashwagandha, licorice root, nettle leaf. You can imagine these herbs, like they're really pampering the adrenals. They really soothe them and they strengthen them, and they also help the adrenals to react more adequately to a specific situation. So you really can calm down your adrenals with these kind of herbs when you're also trying to avoid and get rid of caffeine, when you also lower the fats in the diet, because that's also hard on your adrenals. So that's what I did with him. In the beginning, he really was like a little bit hesitant because he was so used to, but I still need my protein and that kind of stuff. And at some point he was just, Theo, just tell me now exactly what I need to do. I'm just going to do it. And then I was like, yes, amazing. And do this. And then it got really better. And he sleeps through the night. I was just in contact with him a couple of weeks ago. He said like sleep is so good, energy is great. So it's just turned his life around. So, and that's just one story out of hundreds.